her gentleness, her grace. Still, curiosity burned in him like a unable to resist any longer. Obina pretended to sleep. As he moved the soft creak of the faint rustle through her eyes from the bed, her white wrapper trailing behind her. She carried a clay pot roofed side out of the hut. Heart pound. Obina followed at a distance, hiding behind palm trees and shadows. She stopped near the family's pen. Then she knelt. Her shoulders trembled. Obina leaned closer, and what he saw in his blood eye. Alaire Obepot, the shudder, she did and began to eat. Her tongue stretched unnaturally, her eyes glowing a faint red. Then came the faint bleat of the goat pen. Obina stepped back, and his foot snapped a twig. Alaire's head jerked up, eyes blazing. "Who's there?" Her voice was no longer soft, like a gruff from didn't look back until he was in the house. Bolting door shut. His heart was dawn broke, but when he turned, Alaire was beside him, lying in beds. "Good morning, my husband," she whispered. "Did you sleep well?" Obin nothing. He only stared. The next, he told his mother everything. The family called the village priest. When he came, his face grew red. "Is out of the living. She feeds on life itself. She walks with man, but spirit world must send her back before she consumes you." Tonight, when Alaire returned from her midnight meal, she found the house surrounded by elders, chanting. She screamed to Santos, her beauty way like wax in her, revealing a shadowed form with hollow eyes. And from that day, no one in Noduka village ate after midnight. Spirits roam then, search for the living who share their hunger. Moral of the story: what glitter daylight may feed on darkness. True love and beauty, it sees the truth. Bride who never ate in daylight in the quiet of Noduka. There lived a village named Obina, one of the richest families in the land. The women from all over sought his hand. He wanted something different, someone serious, someone rest. Then one market day, he saw her, Alaire, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Her eyes shimmered like moonlight on water, and her skin glowed as though kissed by the heavens. She spoke softly and moved like a secret. Within a week, Obina was. He asked for her hand, and though her family hesitated strangely, there was a talk of the village. Drums beat all day. Dancers spun until dusk, and everyone celebrated the perfect couple. But when noticed, the bride never ate at the feast, while others devoured roasted yam and spicy stew. Alaire only smiled lightly and said, "I will eat later, when the moon rises." Obina laughed it off. Perhaps she was shy. Well, he thought. Every meal ended the same way. Alaire would not eat while the sun was up. No matter how delicious the food, she only whispered steps by day. my love. I'll eat at midnight. Obina's mother grew uneasy. My son, she one who hides her hunger, hides her heart. Loved her gentleness, her grace, her mystery. Still, curiosity burned in him like a hidden fire. One moonless night, unable to resist any longer, pretended to sleep. As the clock struck 12, he heard movement, the soft creak of the floorboards. The faint rustle of silk. Through half-open eyes, he saw Alaire rise from the bed, white wrapper trailing behind her. She carried a clay pot and moved silently. Heart pounding, Obina followed at a distance behind palm trees and family boat pan. Then she knelt. Her shoulders trembled. Obina leaned closer, and what he saw turned. Alaire opened the clay pot. Inside was something dark with a shudder. Her fingers and feet. Her tongue stretched unnaturally long, tapping at the contents. Her eyes glowing faint red. Sound of faint from the goat pan, followed by silence. In a step back, and a snap wig. A head jerked up, eyes blazing. Who's there? Voice was no longer soft, echoed. He looked back until he was inside the house, bolting the door shut. His heart raced as when he turned. Alaire was beside him, lying on the bed, smiling. My husband, she whispered. Did you sleep well? He stared. The next day, he told his mother everything. The family call grew dark. This woman, he said, the living. She feeds life itself. She walks with men but eats from the must send her back or she consumes too. That night, when her midnight meal, she found the house by elders chanting ancient prayers. She screamed a sound that shattered pots and windows. Her beauty wax and fire, revealing a form with hollow eyes. And she vanished into the darkness again. From that day, no one in Oduka village ate after midnight. They searching for the living who share their hunger. Story what glitters in daylight means. True love sees beyond beauty, it sees truth. The bride who prayed in daylight in the quiet village of Oduka. There lived a young man, heir to one of the richest families in the land. The women from all over sought it. He wanted something different, someone mysterious, someone unlike the rest. Then one day, he saw her, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Her eyes shone light on still water, and her skin glowed as though kissed by the heavens. She spoke softly, smiled rarely, and moved like a secret. Within a week, Obina was in love. Asked for her hand, and though her family has agreed, their wedding walk of the village drums all day. Dancers spun until dusk, and everyone celebrated the perfect couple. But there was one thing everyone noticed: the bride ate at the feast, while others devoured roasted yam and spicy. Alaire only smiled politely. I will moon rises. Obina laughed it off. Perhaps she would, but the days turned into weeks, and every meal ended the same way a little while the sun was no matter how delicious the food. She only whispered, "My stomach sleeps by day. My love, I'll eat at midnight. Obey easy. My son shan't." A woman who hides her hunger, her heart, but brushed it aside. He had her gentleness, her grace, her mystery. Curiosity burned him like a hidden fire. One moonlight, to resist longer. Ina pretended to sleep. At struck 12, he heard movement, the creak of the floorboards. The faint rustle of silk. Through half-open eyes, he saw Alaire rise from the bed, her white wrapper trailing behind her. She carried a clay pot and moved silently out of the hut. Heart pounding, Obin at a distance, hides in shadows. She stopped near the family's small goat pen. Then she knelt. Her shoulders trembled. Obina leaned close, and he saw turn his blood to in the clay pot. Inside was some dark, writhing, whispering. With a shudder, she dipped her finger, tongue stretched unnaturally long, lapping at the contents, eyes glowing faint red. There came the sound of faint bleeding from the goat pen, followed by silence. Obina stepped back, gasping, and his foot snapped a twig. Alaire, eyes blazing. "Who's there?" Voice was no longer echoed like a growl from deep within the earth. Obina ran until he was inside the house, bolting the door shut. His heart raced as dawn broke. Turned. Alaire was beside him, laying peacefully on the bed, smiling. "Good morning, my husband," she whispered. "Did you sleep well?" Obina only stared. The next day, he told his mother everything. The family called the village priest. When he came, his face woman, he said, "Of the living. She feeds on life, she walks with men, but in the spirit world. You must send her back before she consumes you." That night, when Alaire returned from her midnight meal, she found by elders chanting ancient prayers. She scattered pots and melted away like wax and fire, revealing a shadowed form. And then she vanished into the darkness next to Duca Villa 8 after midnight. They said the spirits roam then, searching for the living who share their hunger of the story, but glittering feed on dark. True love sees beyond beauty, it sees the truth. The bride who never daylight village of Voduka, there lived a young man named Obina, heir to families in the land. Though women from all over sought his hand, he wanted someone mysterious, someone unlike the rest. market day, he saw her. Alaire, the most he had ever seen. Her shimmered like moonlight and her kid hands. She spoke softly, smiled rarely, moved like a seat. Weak, Obinna was in love. He asked for her hand, and though he hesitated strangely, their wedding was talk of the village. Drums beat all day. Dancers spun until celebrated the perfect couple. But there was one noticed. I never, while others ordered roast yam and spicy stew. There only smiled politely. I will eat later. The moon rises. Obinna laughed it off. Perhaps she was shy, or well, thought. But the days turned into weeks, and every meal ended the same way. Alaire would not eat while the sun was up, no matter how delicious the food. He only whispered, "My stomach sleeps by day, my love. I'll eat at night." Obinna's mother grew uneasy. "My son," she warned, "woman who hides her hides her heart." But Obinna brushed it aside. He loved her gentleness, her grace, her mystery. Still, curiosity burned in him like a hidden fire. One moonless night, unable to resist, he pretended to sleep. As the clock struck the floorboards, the faint on the bed, her white wrapper trailing behind her, lay and moved silently out of the hut. Heart pounding. Obinna followed at a distance, hiding behind palm trees and shadows. Small goat pen. Then she now trembled. Obinna leaned close. What he saw turned his blood to ice. A lot inside was something writhing. Whispered. She dipped her fingers in and began to naturally long hands, her eyes glowing faint red. Then came the sound of faint bleeding from the goat pen. Fall silence. Obinna stepped back, gasping, and his foot snapped a twig. Alaire's head jerked up, eyes blazing. "Who's there?" Her voice was no longer soft. It echoed like all from deep within the earth. Obinna ran. He didn't look inside the house, pulling the door shut. His heart raced as dawn broke. When he turned, Alaire was lying peacefully in bed, smiling. "Good morning, my husband," she whispered. "Did you sleep well?" Obinna said nothing. He only stared. The next day, the family called the village priest. When he came, his face grew dark. "This woman," he said, "the living. She lies itself. She walks with man but eats from the spirit world. You must send her back before she can." That night, when returned from her midnight, found the house surrounded by others, chanting ancient prayers. She screamed a sound that shattered pots and windows. Her beauty lay like wax in fire, revealing a shadowed form with and she vanished into the darkness, never to be seen again. From that day, no one in Uka village ate at night. They said the spirits roamed then, searching for the living who shared their hunger. Moral of the story: wonders in daylight may feed on darkness. Beyond beauty it sees the truth. Who never ate in daylight in the quiet Oduka. There lived a young man named Obina, heir to one of in the land. Though women all over got his head, he wanted something different, someone mysterious, someone unlike the rest. Then one market day, he saw her, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Eyes shimmered like moonlight on still water, and her skin glowed as though kissed by the heavens. Spoke softly, smiled rarely, like a secret. Within a week, Ob was in love. He asked for her hand, and though their wedding was a talk of the village, drums beat all day. Dancers spun until, but there was one thing everyone noticed: the bride never ate at the feast, while ham and spicy stew only smiled politely. I will eat later, when the moon rises. Perhaps she was shy, or unwell, but the days turned into weeks, and every meal ended the same. How the food. She only whispered, "My stomach's today, my love. I'll eat at midnight." Obina's mother grew uneasy. "My son," she warned, "a woman who hides her hunger hides her heart." But he loved her gentleness, her mystery. He burned in him like a hidden fire. One moonless, unable to longer. He heard movement, the soft creak of the floorboard, faint rust of silk through half-open eyes, her white wrap trailing behind her. Carried a clay pot, moved silently out of the hut, heart pounding. Obina behind palm trees and shadows. She stopped near the family's small goat pen. Then she knelt closer, and what he saw turned his blood to ice. Alaire opened the guide with dark writhing spring. With a shudder, she dipped her fingers in feet, her tongue stretched unnaturally long. The contents, her eyes glowing faint red. Then pan followed by silence. Stepped back, gasping, and his foot snapped a twig. "Who's there?" Her voice no longer soft. It echoed like a growl from deep the earth. Obina ran. He didn't look back until the house door shut. His heart raced as dawn broke. But when he turned, Alaire lying peacefully on the bed, smiling. "Good morning." And she whispered, "Did you sleep well?" Obina said nothing. He only stared. The next day, he told his mother the family called the feast. When he came, dark. "This woman," he said, "is not of the living. She feeds on life itself. She walks with man, but eats from the... You must send her back before she consumes you too." That night, from her midnight, she found the house surrounded by elders, chanting ancient prayers. She screamed a sound that shattered pots and windows and fire, revealing a shadow form with hollow eyes. And then, she took a village 8 after midnight. They said the spirits roam then, searching for living who share their hunger. Moral of the story: what glitter, light, and darkness. Beauty, it sees the truth. The bride who never daylight. In the quiet village of Oduka, there lived a young man heir to one of the richest families in the land. Though women from all over sought his hand, he wanted something different, someone unlike the rest. Then one day, he saw her, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. She shimmered like moonlight water, and her skin glowed as though kissed by the heavens. She spoke, smiled rarely, like a secret. Within a week, Obinna was in love. He asked for her hand, and though her family hesitated, they agreed. Their wedding was at the village. Drums beat all day, dancers spun till dusk, and everyone celebrated the perfect couple. But there was one thing everyone the devoured roasted yam and spicy stew. Allaire only smiled. I will eat later. Rises. Obinna off. Perhaps she was shy or unwell, he thought. In 2 weeks, and every meal ended the same way. Allaire would eat while the sun was up. How delicious the food, she whispered. My stomach sleeps me. My love. Right. Obinna's mother grew uneasy. My son, she warned, a woman who hides her hunger. But Obinna brushed it aside. He loved her, her gentle face, her mystery. Still, curiosity burned in him like a hidden fire. This night, unable to resist any longer, Obinna, as the clock, he heard the soft creak of the floorboards. For half open eyes, he saw Allaire wrapper trailing behind her. She carried a clay pot silently out of the hut. Heart pounding, Obinna followed at a distance, hiding behind palm trees and shadows. She stopped Lee's small goat pan. Then she knelt. Her shoulders trembled. Oh, closer, and he saw turn his blood to eyes. Allaire opened the clay pot. Inside was something dark, writhing, whispering. With a shudder, she dipped her fingers in and began to feed. Her tongue stretched unnaturally long, lapping the content. Her eyes glowing red. Then came the sound from the goat pan. Followed by Obinna stepped back, gasping, and his head jerked up, eyes blue. There! Like a growl from deep within the earth. He didn't look back until he was inside the house. Shut. Heart raced as dawn broke, was beside him, lying in mourning. "My husband, did you sleep well?" Obinna said nothing. Next day, he told his mother, family called the priest. When he came, his face grew dark. "Woman," he said, "is not the living self. She walks with man, but eats from the spirit." Sent her back before she could consume you. That night, Claire returned from her midnight meal. She felt surrounded by elders, chanting ancient hymns. She screamed a sound that shattered pots and windows. Beauty melted away like wax and fire, revealed form with hollow eyes. She vanished into the darkness, never again. From that day, no one in Oduka village ate after midnight. They said the moral of the story, what glitters in daylight may fade. True love sees beyond beauty. A bride who never ate in daylight in quiet village. Man to one of the richest families in the land. Women from all